Welcome to the TST Motor Age.
November already.
November, and happy Thanksgiving in advance in case we forget. Presented by us, State of Charge and State of Health Analysis for EV battery conditions and hybrid batteries. Okay, so sponsored by Autel. Thank you again, 2 months in a row of Autel. If you have questions as we go through, please do that. I'm G. Truglia.
And I'm Pierre Respaut.
There you go. So, hey, we're going to start. So again, our sponsor, Autel. We're using the new Ultra S2 with special software. Now, the special software is this stuff right here. It's the heavy-duty battery stuff. It has the diagnostics. There we go. It has this HV battery test, the health test, and a bunch more other stuff like HV component test. Really a great thing.
And we're going to get into the component stuff. Actually, Doreen, can you like pan the camera down to this kit on the floor? It's too big for me to hold up and not drop everything. So all of this stuff, plus a module that we actually have in the office.
Oh, right there.
Oh, I'm sorry, the module's up here. They all come in the kit. And that enables you to directly test batteries. So batteries that are disconnected, you may leave them in the car, but you'll disconnect them electrically and use all these adapters to test the batteries without having to rip everything apart, right?
And we're going to show you some neat stuff. We're going to connect to the vehicle, okay? We have a Chevy Volt, and here's that box up here.
So this is the box. Now, we're not going to get into the direct stuff today because, well, that was what we were trying to do with the different vehicle that we had a problem with. So we can't do it because we had a problem with the battery pack on this old car that's been sitting forever. But this enables you to do direct tests.
Yeah, so we're going to show you some neat stuff as we go through. We're also connected in the back of Pierre. I don't know if Doreen can get it. The HV charger probably has to be moved out a little more. If you can move it, the whole thing out a little bit. Just slide it sideways, Pierre. Beautiful, you're good.
That's what you're not supposed to do, is drop the adapter on the floor.
Okay, that's okay. So that is a Autel charger connected to the Volt, because one of the tests that we're going to show you we had to do, and you got to drive the car, so we can't drive the car here. You got to bring it on the road, and it really does test the battery. Okay, so let's go through. Here's the other stuff here with the compressor test, the 48-volt battery test. There's a lot of 48-volt batteries out there, right? You have a lot of your Ram trucks, a lot of Fords and stuff. It can do a motor test. DC to DC. What's DC to DC?
That's converting your very high voltage battery pack down to system voltage like 14 volts, right?
So OBD2 could work, right?
Yeah, so your dashboard and headlights will
so
work.
Converter is a little different than inverter. Inverter is your DC battery, like underneath this Volt. Well, the motor's AC. It can't do a DC to the motor, so it goes through an inverter. The inverter changes the voltage from DC to AC by IGBT, integrated bipolar transistor, a big diode, in other words. And this is really nothing much more than an alternator, these motor generators, right?
Basically what this is doing is kind of the opposite of what our alternators always did. Yeah. We're taking battery voltage, DC, and turning it into AC instead of turning AC voltage into DC. Same idea, though.
It's like
much higher power, though.
It's like the group AC/DC, right? All right, high voltage battery replacement. So there's some really neat stuff here, because just like you code a 12-volt battery, you may have to do some coding here. So we're going to be here 60 to 90 minutes, the way Pierre and I yak.
Might
Probably
be on
more like 90 or more.
Yeah, it might be on the long side.
Okay. So we're going to cover using the Autel Ultra S2 and dive into the high voltage battery diagnosis and see how to get prepared to make money on failing hybrid and EV batteries. Have something to write with? All slides are numbers. Recording will be available at Motor Age Training account. That's probably where you signed up. I got to get my water because my throat is shot. Is that your bottle, Pierre?
No, I don't have a bottle there, Jerry. But so while he's getting his water, I want to get set up to show them a couple of things as soon as we're done with this.
Okay.
So, Doreen, if you could switch to the camera.
Sure.
So, a couple of things first. You know, Jerry, when he does his EV and hybrid class, he spends like the first half a day on safety. We can't do that on a 1-hour seminar. What we can do is just explain that you really, really need to be trained up on your safety. Current gloves, 1,000-volt Cat 3 certified equipment, everything, including, so I'm going to actually, we were talking about this before.
Lead ends.
Lead ends.
And leads.
Tell us what's wrong. Well, what's the difference between these? Obviously, one is alligator clips and one is points, but
They're both stamped Cat 3, 1,000 volts.
But what's wrong in this picture? So look carefully.
Type that in. And by the way, your handout is in the chat. If you can't get it there, you can't put it there?
No,
Zoom is doing it to us again.
nothing's posting.
That's
Hang on.
great.
Let me get through. Switch for a second.
So just, we'll give you a little time to look at it, but you know, maybe I'll get a little closer to the camera
Do
even.
you want me to get
Oh.
closer? You're good.
No, I'm switched off there. He's in Zoom. All right. Bottom line is, if you saw the two sets of ends, type in what you see is not correct,
Not allowed.
Not allowing.
because this is a common thing.
Good. You're back.
All right.
You're still on.
Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to start out by going through some kind of basic information. Safety, obviously, is the critical thing. Jerry has, you can't see it in the camera, Jerry has one of the gaffs up there in case somebody gets, you know, shocked and their muscles are locked onto a high voltage source. We have our, in fact, it's kind of a laughable story. Early this week I said, Jerry, my gloves are out of date. How about yours? And it turned out his gloves were out of date too. So we talk about safety, but we had to get new gloves this week because our gloves had expired and mine were too old to just recertify. They're timed out, even though they weren't worn out. Especially as you get into higher and higher voltages, this becomes more and more critical, right? So,
And other safety stuff you should have is, besides our gloves here, let me just grab mine. As Pierre said, he got them. Not only the glove, and you see the date, these were August 2025, 6 months, but we put in service date, which is today, okay? Now my other gloves, I've been on the road a lot. I'm gonna send a bunch of them out to be tested, okay? The covers also need to be 1,000-volt gloves. You just can't have them there. And we have special dust powder in them, not baby powder.
not talcum powder.
There'll be metal maybe in there. So
Yeah.
You don't want anything in talcum powder. So those are some of the things. The rescue hook, maybe we'll pull it down later. Right now it's right in Doreen's way. But you should have a rescue hook. God forbid, it is a law that's real heavy if you're going to pull on it. So wait for us to do it when we're doing something else. At any rate, all your safety stuff, a flash helmet, glasses, not steel toe boots. You should have composite toe boots. And of course, no bling. You see I have nothing on.
Actually, speaking
Okay.
of that,
Don't put your hand in a glove with rings or have a watch on or wear any bling, okay? Now, today we took it off, but if you have a belt buckle, you have keys, okay, you need to lose them, even your cell phone. When I do a hands-on class, that's an important thing. So we got the safety out of the way right now.
actually, there's one thing I want to caveat. what we're doing here tonight using the OBD2 port, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about when you get to the high voltage side.
Well, we got some pictures here.
And we do, yes.
So we took some pictures from a Prius, since we know Prius is #1 in, having most of the hybrids out there. So right here, there's the information. Again, you can go to Motor Age Training account or tstseminars.org. In fact, what I'll do is by tomorrow morning, the handout will be up on the TST website under handout, maybe even tonight. For some reason, Zoom sometimes lets you paste it in, and sometimes they don't. I don't know why. So everything you see here, you'll get. Again, copy the number of the slide down. This is slide 6. That way, if you take notes, you can easily pop them in. We're going to do decoding the stuff here. We're going to go how the SOC, state of charge, state of health, SOH, define a battery's true performance and capability, onboard versus direct testing, when and why to use each, safely measuring high voltage systems and interpreting data, overcoming common challenges in EV and hybrid diagnosis, and real world practices to boost reliability and technician confidence. So thank you for joining us using the Ultra S2. And we're going to show you some stuff first through the slides, then actually on the vehicle, okay? So here, again, we're going to go through all of these things here. And here's one of the things we did. We were on an HV battery. In this vehicle, it had a problem. It wouldn't start. Now, this vehicle, it's mine. This battery is now, I think, about 4 years old. It sat around for a while. So when it sat around for a while, well, guess what? It's not good for the battery, okay? Now, some of you were looking at it and go, hey, that is a Dorman battery. Yes, and it worked perfect for 4+ years.
Until it sat for 1.5 years without budging.
Without budging. Not a good thing to do. In fact, one of the things I go over is what Honda always puts on their car. If you don't use the vehicle for more than a month, you may do damage to the high voltage battery. And that's right from a manufacturer.
And that's what happened to this battery, by the way.
So here, look at the voltage. Pierre and I are checking this battery. We took it apart, 7.51 per subpack.
Per cell,
subpack.
yeah, per.
So a subpack is one of these that has 6 cells. Why don't you go grab one from inside? 6 cells that are 1.2, watch up here, watch, 1.2 volts per cell. So Pierre's grabbing one of the bad ones we actually took out and put in good ones so the battery pack could have it. So right here, the separation, these are 1.2 each.
Each cell.
So 7.2, when you have 28 in the battery, that would be 14 packs. A pack is 2 of these, okay? And that makes the voltage on a Prius 201 volts. But if you have problems like this, look at the ones we're checking here. We X'd out. 4 of them are totally bad, shorting the battery out at less.
0.79 volts.
And how would we read that? He says 0.79, but what is that in a millivolt reading? Okay, so if you pop that in there, that'll be good. I got to tilt that thing here towards me a little more.
790.
Good, very good, Don. 790 millivolts. So as we're going through, we want to show you when we tested the pack. If you look here, the gloves are on. We put the interlock switch in there, and we got 209 volts.
And by the way, he says in there, that's in the picture, but really when we were doing all the other work, that interlock switch was physically removed from the vicinity of the car.
Right.
You don't want to accidentally power it up.
Very good point. And you should put it in a lockbox. A lockbox is mandatory to put the key and the interlock switch in.
And by the way, that's especially true of proximity keys, right?
Yep.
Proximity keys might wake the car up, and you don't know it.
So before we did any of the battery replacement, we made sure the vehicle was powered down. We didn't guess, we tested, okay? We made sure it was safe. And then we went across every battery, as we were showing you here. And if we had 7 something, 7 to 7, 14, a pack should be somewhere about 14.2 and better, okay? That would be normal. But these end packs, they had close to nothing. They were shorting out the whole battery, okay? And that's why the vehicle won't start. So here, when we're done, we proved we got good voltage. As we took the interlock out, the battery just doesn't drain automatically. It's going down, and right here we are at a safe level of 26 volts. If we would have waited a little longer to take the picture, it would have went down even further.
If we had done it as a video, you would have seen that it was dropping down, down, down. You know, it was going to be 0 in about a minute.
But again, never do any of this unless you have the proper training. Yes, there's people on YouTube, we know, okay? They're going to show you without gloves and tell you safety is important. In fact, we're going to show you some stuff that Autel put in, but even the OE manufacturers and hotlines like Opus and others will not give you support unless you've been through a hybrid class or have an ASE certification like L3. And they do that because of liability. If you may not have the right equipment, you may not have the right PPE, personal protection equipment.
And then you burn yourself up, and then your spouse or whoever sues them.
Not
So
a
they
good thing.
can't afford that, right? They're not. Nobody wants that.
So here's a battery we connected to on this 2006 Toyota. Now, in all fairness to the tool and stuff, we just got this tool in. I've been on the road a lot, and Pierre and I just got this thing in and played with it yesterday, okay? And today, obviously. We're not sure. It didn't have listing as far down as a 2006 Prius, but I'm going to show you as a way to even get around it. Now, I'm not sure if that's something that you have to contact Autel.
We might
No
not
one's
have
around.
gotten every single update. By the way, because we had to load everything and it was short notice, I spent a lot of time on updates. I'm not sure I got them all, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, I tried again. I think we did. But I would like to ask Autel, maybe they start from 2008 and up and not 2006. Not sure. Maybe the vehicle they found wouldn't give you all the data. That's a strong possibility too. Of course, they do have a lot of cables in that kit, and they can do it. I'm going to show you on this. Watch as we go through these slides. So it identifies the Prius, and yes, my Prius has 213 plus thousand. It goes through, obviously, we have some stuff here. So do auto scan. Came up with some problems, as you can see. Okay. It warns you, technical certification. Please, tells you, please ensure you have passed high voltage safety certification. Perform relevant operations according to local regulations, personal qualifications. Only high voltage technicians and high voltage experts are allowed to perform high voltage related operation. Oh, that's a lot right there, isn't it?
And it ain't no joke. We're going to say it a few times, more than a few times.
Right.
High voltage is not a joke.
Because your safety is the most important. Remember, your family likes to see you leave to go to work, and they want to see you come home, right? So in one piece and not burnt up like a piece of meat. So here again, risk and warnings. This is the next page. They want you to read it, and you got to scroll to accept it. And then we go over proper protection. Helmets where needed. I've never wore one on a high voltage, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't have them. Proper work shoes with a 1,000-volt rating. Again, not steel, composite. Proper protection gloves. That is the class 0, 1,000 volt. The leather protectors also rated at 1,000. You could wear a protective suit. We do lean over metal cars. They're doing a bit of overkill, which in my opinion is a good thing, okay? Better to be safe than sorry. And now the face shields that are called flash shields.
But by the
Forget
way,
what it's
so
called.
the protective clothing is also for flash. I don't know if you know what arc flash is. Arc flash is where enough voltage goes through something conductive, metal generally, and it just blows it apart. It's like a plasma cutter. Only you're wearing the plasma.
You know that big belt you have on with that nice tool company you like, or maybe you have a nice buffalo on the belt?
Well,
Well,
that
that's
can
gonna
give
be
you
it.
third-degree burns. Very
Easy.
nasty.
Easy. So there's the rescue hook. That's what ours looks like as well. 6 or 8 foot is minimal. A meter that is Cat 3 certified, 1,000 volts. Tools, that's all the type stuff. And you want to rope things off saying there's a problem.
So I didn't even see. Did anybody answer what was wrong with the probes?
Oh, I didn't see that either.
No answers? Maybe it was too small. All
I
right.
bet
Well, I'm
Don.
going to show you. We usually, when these are 1,000 volt rated probes, however, they're supposed to have those little collars on them so only the tip sticks out for 1,000 volt usage.
That is
Otherwise,
absolutely
it's only
correct.
what, 600?
Correct.
So that's what was, it wasn't that there was a faulty part. It's that once you get into higher voltages, you're supposed to have those insulated collars on so you can't be touching something high voltage at the tip.
Or get an arc.
And get an arc across, and something else on the side, you know, where you blow the whole tip apart.
Yeah.
So
And
that's
by the
what that
way,
was about.
That does come in most kits, okay? I have another set from Fluke that you just turn the end and it goes up and down. But moving on, the high voltage battery connection on this one is telling you just go to the diagnostic link connector. Pretty cool, right? And then it has battery information or dynamic test. And as we go through here, we see the diagnostic report on the scan. We got some heavy duty faults here. We got hybrid battery stuff. We got hybrid control problems. We got problems. And of course, you always have to look to see if that problem is actually there. And digging deep, a P3000, it is current and it's in history, battery control system. A P0AFA, battery low, pending, current, and in history. So these are things you want to look at before you dive in to thinking you could fix that high voltage battery by ordering a new one or by ordering, you know, one from a reclamation center or reconditioned battery, okay? It may not be the battery, it could be something else,
Yeah.
okay?
There's a lot of possibilities there. So you really have to follow the, you know, I'm going to use a BMW term, but the test plan. You have to follow the diagnostic tree to eliminate all the possibilities.
So not only the hybrid codes, but look at this. You have ABS and traction control, where it's looking at faults in those systems because of regeneration. And that's the other thing. So if your motor, you know, on a hybrid is not right, and what do I mean by not right? Maybe you have a misfire because some rodent came in there and chewed a wire. I've done a video on that you can look on the TST YouTube channel. And when you have all the cylinders not working the way they're designed, well, guess what happens to regen? Not going to work too well, okay? So everything has to work in unison. You could have a converter problem. Let's say you got low, your 12 volt battery keeps going low. Well, if the 12 volt battery is out of the picture, and some, depending on the vehicle, could be a conventional battery, meaning lead acid. Most of them are AGM if they're in the vehicle, that is a law. And of course, like on Pierre's Tesla, you're going to have a primary, not the skateboard battery underneath the car, but primary lithium ion battery.
At 16 volts, by the way.
Yeah.
Not 13, 14, whatever. 16
bet.
volts.
Very different. And here, when you go in, look, didn't we just prove to you with the meter? Look at the battery.
0.07, 0.94 on 2 blocks. Mind you, 2 blocks is 2 packs each. It's
Two of
actually
those
4.
Two of those babies.
Yeah. So it was actually 4 of these. Each block is 2 of these, right?
And there they are, actually.
Yeah, these are.
When you look at it. And I've reconditioned a lot of batteries over the years. And what I've seen recondition them, it usually is that front end like these. So it tells you battery block 1, 2. That's usually where they fail a lot for whatever reason. Maybe current flow going from the furthest point.
Maybe
I'm
it's
not sure.
temperature buildup, whatever.
Could be.
Speaking of temperature, you might think you have a battery problem, but maybe it's your cooling system problem. Or, those things need to be maintained also.
Yes. When we speak about a extended range or a full EV, they're not air-cooled. The Prius is an air-cooled battery. But if your heat and air conditioning is not working well in that vehicle, the vents through the car, like on Prius near the back seat, if you can't get the proper temperature going through, well, that battery may have a problem. And when you do have a vehicle like a Tesla or even this extended range here, if you have a coolant system problem, and that could be engine coolant, the same type of stuff, that doesn't go to the engine, just goes to the battery and the electronic components, the inverter, the converter, and of course the motor generators, and or you have air conditioning, and many use both of them. If any of those systems are not working as designed, well, guess what? That's right. You're going to have a problem. You may be stuck on the road.
It either may work poorly or it may not even move.
May not move. Okay. So here, another look at battery blocks. And look what it said. This is on the Toyota. Check or replace battery pack. Pretty damn good. Okay. Now, when I did a lot of hybrid classes and stuff, and I think there's a few of you guys that have been in my hands-on class. If you are, type the letter H in there. I could tell you that aftermarket tools didn't seem to work well. Well, I got to tell you, I'm super impressed. And not because Autel is paying for this. They have done an excellent job, in giving you, the independent repair person that's using this tool, great information. It's better than factory information because they're running a test plan, okay? They're giving you that.
And being a European guy, of course I curse test plans a lot, right? But when they work, they really lead you right to the problem and how to fix it. I say when they work because you have to be careful in those tests. And that's true of anything, isn't it? So this thing looks like it's doing that. It's leading you through a systematic approach to diagnosing the problem.
Yeah, because in TechStream, you would need to know you got to graph the maximum voltage, the minimum voltage, and run a whole bunch of other tests, not to get too deep into it. But here, it's going to give you the info real easy and nice. And we're going to show you when we did the Volt and drove it. And when we hook up to it, you'll see what we're talking about. Here, it even tells you where the cells are located. You press a little button. It says module status, cell status, battery pack info. Pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. And here again, check or replace battery pack. Didn't like what it came up to. And remember, I am lying to the tool. I am lying to the tool to get into this particular section. I first ran the regular diagnostics like you can do with Autel on any car. But the amount of years they had, or the list of years they had. The coverage did not have anything lower than, I think it was 2010 and down, okay, or maybe 8 and down. They didn't have that. Now, there must be a reason. I'll try to find out and maybe post that in a week or so. I'll have to contact someone from Autel and ask them, or maybe if anyone's on from Autel, maybe you can type in the chat box, why don't, or maybe what year. Maybe why don't.
Or maybe we screwed up and didn't download something we were supposed to.
It's very possible.
But
he downloaded it originally I double checked it. It seemed like it did every update, but who knows?
Yep.
Okay. But look at this. It tells us the battery pack should be 201 volts. Your amp hour is 6.5. It's air cooled. It gives you the info. This is important. You don't have to go into manufacturer info. It's here. Whoever helped put this together for Autel, unbelievable. Very good. And here, introduction to state of health. So it says, deep test and comprehensive analysis of cell voltage current, temperature data, because temperature's a biggie, of the battery power generated during the vehicle's charging process using our unique HPPC hybrid pulse power characteristics track battery algorithm provides customers with the SOH deep test report. And it tells you exactly what to do and gives you an explanation.
Now, you know what? This isn't something for just broken cars. Think about what the service could be to your customers if you did this, in, not an oil change, but a bigger service, and you said, Mr. Customer, your battery is not bad right now, but be aware, we see something. First of all, they're always going to get the people to blow you off, right? But if in 6 months they have a battery problem, you just became a genius. And
correct.
You didn't push them too hard maybe to, do it before it was needed.
That's what I usually say. Every other oil change, let's say on a Prius, they have a circulator pump for the special coolant that uses deionized water in it to circulate through the motor generator, the inverter, the converter, and not the battery on that one. But if that pump goes bad and you didn't check it, well, they're going to get stuck on the side of the road and wind up with a very big bill because you did damage to those components because you couldn't cool them, right? And one of the other things, when we showed you the Autel charger there, we've had that here in the shop a good 3+ years, if not more. You know how people bring you a car in with drivability? We all had it.
Drivability problem, the gas tank's empty, right?
That's it.
Has a bad fuel pump, gas tank's full. And the trunk's full of garbage or whatever.
Now, this is the normal thing.
Same thing with the EVs or hybrids that need a fully charged battery. They bring it in with 15% left.
Right. So, in fact, to perform the test we're going to show you on the Volt or on any EV, if you don't have a charger, you can't do the test with this tool. And it would be the same thing with manufacturer stuff. You would need to know if the charger's working. Can it see it's charging? Does it make a difference? This way you're checking your J1772, or the NACS, which is the adapter for North America, that, by the way, is going to be on every car that, just like Tesla uses it, everyone. And that thing Pierre dropped before, this car is, since it's GM, is a J1772.
Should I get that adapter?
Yeah, take the adapter. It's on the floor. You plug it in. And by the way, my Ford Lightning, Ford took them a little while, but they gave me one. And our Cadillac Optic, also we put one in there because if you're stuck on the road, stay still, you got a beautiful picture. See, so this is like the Tesla side.
This is the Tesla side.
This is the 1772.
Right. And this
And
allows
it
you to,
adapts.
this allows you to use one system with the other charger.
And by the way, if you think you're going to take the plug out of someone's car and plug it in your 110 outlet, it's going to take a long time, especially on any skateboard type batteries, meaning full EVs. Even this extended range, you'd be there 8 hours.
Oh, maybe a couple of days.
On yours, a couple of days.
A couple of days on my car.
Yeah, a Lightning, forget it. It may take you 3 days.
Right.
So-
Imagine a big Hummer with the big battery. You'd be there all week.
So you need a level 2. This is level 2. This car came with a level 1 inside. Teslas come with a plug that's either level 1 or 2. And if you have a welder like he does connection, or you get an electrician to install it, you plug it in and you charge it.
I'd like to make a comment about that because I was talking about this the other day. I have this welder, Miller-Matic 200 and a plasma cutter, and I had a 50 amp breaker, 240, and I used it. But after about 4 months, I started getting overheat warnings on my Tesla charger. It was because it wasn't rated for 100% duty cycle. And I had to have it changed out to one that actually has a little picture of a hybrid car on it for 100% duty cycle. So be aware of that. If you are into, if you buy one of these, you don't have to worry about it because you have your electrician wire it in.
Right.
But if you're plugging into your welder socket, just be aware of that.
Or dryer sockets or
Or whatever, yeah, right. Be aware of it.
Obviously, we have the electrician wired this up. At home, same thing. But I have two chargers. One's a 60 amp charger. That's okay for the GM cars. But for the Lightning, you need 100 amps. It's a special 100 amp charger that actually came with the vehicle with the Platinum Edition. People have to buy it if I guess they didn't buy the Platinum. It also acts, I can take the voltage out of the truck and move it into my house if the lights went out. So that is a whole special setup. And of course, they tell you need an electrician to hook it up. You should not play with any of that stuff yourself. And, you talk about overheating. Originally, my first Chevy Volt in 2011 had an orange wire that you plugged into the wall. And it works on 8 amp or 12 amp. Okay, you got to go into your software to press that. Well, that thing started burning up just like that. They had a problem with them and it was a recall. So always make sure what you're using is safe. It shouldn't be getting hot, okay? They've been making plug-in electric vehicles now for years. From 11, this is 25, going on 26. It's a long time. So they got it down to a science.
Yeah, and it used to be that a lot of electrical supply places didn't have the 100% duty cycle stuff. Nowadays, with all these EVs and all these things being installed, they all carry it.
Yeah, and like in our state here and many other states like California, there is a program that the state will help you through the electric company you're dealing with to put one of them in for either nothing, depending when you got the deal or not, or for a very, very low price.
Yeah, sometimes you have to pay for it and they give you a rebate, whatever the deal is, right. It's something, but it helps.
So here now, we're on the Volt. We're doing the SOH test. It tells us here, comprehensive test, like we read before. Keep the vehicle's battery state of charge below 50. Well, we had to do that. Okay.
We actually had to leave it key on engine off for a while with the seat heaters on and all kinds of stuff to get it below 50 to start this.
While the vehicle is not charging, connect the VCI to the vehicle's OBD2 port. We did that. Execute the test according to directions. Generate an evaluation report after the test. And it tells you how to drive the car. So right now it's communicating. It tells us, and we had to do this a few times because it had, even trying to run it down, we had 70-something%. You got to get it under 50. So we did it. I knocked it down under 50. It tells me the VIN. It tells me it's the car. And it tells me to do this test. Thank God I don't have to get under the car and plug one of the special wires in to do this. Watch how easy this is and how accurate. It is better than the GDS software because I have that and I can tell you, you can't get all this info, okay? So you got a battery pack information or dynamic test. We look at it. This is all the modules. 85% state of charge in the beginning. 384. There's the current. There's the packed voltage delta, 10 millivolts. There's the temperature of the battery. And these are all the modules.
And notice how different that is from the Toyota.
Totally different.
Obviously, the Toyota's been sitting for like a year and a half. But these were all great.
These look pretty good.
Yeah.
It shows us the battery. And by the way, there are a couple of them that don't have as many packs. So if you look back here at voltage, you go 48, 24. Two of them at 24. Yes, that's when they split the pack.
It's smaller pack.
Smaller pack. Okay. Now it's doing a test here as we're driving. You can see this one right there, the blue and the red. It's basically telling you One's the lowest. That would be number 12 is the lowest, and number 77 was the highest.
And by the way, we had to do this on a road that had no traffic because they want you to stomp on it, let off, stomp on it, let off. How many times did we do that?
And it was not that easy, let me tell you.
And it was a rainy day or a wet road.
Yeah, I had Pierre drive because I felt like real do, you know?
And he was the guy holding the scan tool, so.
Safety, right?
Right.
And you know, when you're doing this, Pierre was trying to nauseate me, see if I can upchuck, right?
I once made a flight instructor sick, so I'm really good at that.
So it tells me number of cells 288, nominal voltage is 355, the capacity 46 amp hours, coolant cooled, yep, this is coolant cooled. And by the way, I want you to write a note down, or maybe I'll ask you a question. Has a coolant bottle, 2 of them, one for the engine, okay, because it's an extended range vehicle here, the other one for the electrical system. How much pressure do you put in the bottle on the electric one, not a normal engine one?
To do a pressure test.
They do a pressure test. Please type that in.
14 psi, 5 psi.
Okay, so whoever said 5 psi, that is the maximum. You're on the money. Now, anyone else, and don't feel bad if you got it wrong. It's not made to make you feel bad. If you go past 5, you may do damage to the system that's cooling that battery. And if you pop a line in the battery, that $28,000 battery on this
or
particular
a
vehicle,
seal inside your inverter or converter, that could be a really bad day.
a very bad day, very expensive. So that's where you RTFI, read the freaking info, and they do have it stamped on the cap. But I've seen people not look at the caps, and the cap is locked on there where you got to kind of plop it off, okay, very carefully. You got to kind of move it up to get the cap off, and then you just get your tester, you start pumping away.
Yeah, don't do that.
You'll be in trouble. So, you know, we're here to give you info and make sure
you know, that RTFI thing. I mean, we say it
all the time,
constantly, right? Bottom line is, you know, it's more and more important as all cars, not just hybrids, not just EVs, everything today. So complicated, so different one model or one year to the other. You got to read the information.
You do. So here it gives us more stuff here. The average temperature, the operating, the voltage, the whole bit as we're driving this, live data, as you can see. So to give you module status, cell status, battery pack info, and live data. Wow, that's a lot out of that diagnostic link connector. You can see here the battery pack temperature sensor on one. You can see different information here on other packs. You can see the feedback of the coolant pump. Look at that, coolant command, it's at 6%, okay? Pump speed, 50. You know, this is unbelievable information because if you look at it carefully, it could help you to diagnose a problem. And Chevy Volts have had many problems with that pump, okay? Well, not the pump, it's really the sensor that thinks it's a pump problem. And if that sensor goes bad, it's in the coolant tank, and you don't have to remove the whole tank to put the sensor in. It's not in the antifreeze. It's magnetic on the outside of it. It basically will prevent you from charging it up through the charging port. Now that'll kill your mileage. This vehicle gets over 140 miles a gallon. In fact, before we did the brake controller went on us, and it had to sit around. I couldn't get the part for over 6 months. We were at 158 consistently. And I don't drive it like a little old lady, okay? It's a great car. Scott Brown gets over 300 on his.
Yeah, well, he doesn't have the lead foot us New Yorkers have, you know.
Well, he has charges all over the place in California. We don't have them here.
Right.
So just more battery pack info here to let you see what's going on. And then we go into battery dynamic test. Now here's the one that says, Pierre, you can do some reading.
Yeah, right. So keep the vehicle stationary. You got to follow instructions, right? Keep the vehicle stationary for at least 1 minute and check that the state of charge, total voltage, total current, and all cell voltages, cell temperature, and other data are displayed normally.
In other words, don't test it if you'll continue it. I'll look at this.
Yeah, don't test it if that stuff isn't normally all good, right? Click Start to start the test. So you only do that after you've made sure all that other stuff is good, right?
Okay, let me get to this Hawley guy here. Hawley, I'm sorry?
Andrew, he has a question.
Okay, I'm going to do Hawley first because I've seen it.
Okay.
I'll get to you second, Andrew. That tidbit of 2 people testing, yes, 2 people should be. Yeah, be careful, airbags, but you also have side curtain airbags. Just be careful. Maybe it is better to sit in the back. You guys can make that your own decision. Using vacuum fill tool to fill the coolant system. Any concerns about pulling 25 inches of vacuum? Good question. Sorry. Let me get my water. I have not, sorry about that. I have not seen anything or read anything. I would look that up. I didn't have a problem burping it when it did lose some coolant out of that system. But I would read the surface information. So I don't want to say, no problem. I'm not sure. Okay, I don't know everything.
We can theorize all day long, but we don't know what they engineered, right?
We'll continue to read out.
All right. Well, Jerry's, well, by the way, we both have a cold, so just bear with us. To ensure the accuracy of the test results, drive the vehicle through several times of rapid acceleration while taking care to ensure safety. That's exactly what we were talking about. I was driving it. I was on an empty road. There were several times where we saw a car and I just had to back off and wait till the road was empty again. You know, that can be a real problem for you guys who live in really congested areas, right?
Yeah, we were lucky today. Usually,
yeah, we were lucky.
Saturday, it's tough to do what we did.
The main road that Jerry's shop is on, there's no way we could have done it there. We took a back road. All right. There will be a progress prompt, and it's not linear. It kind of looked like it was complete at the end, right?
There's some pictures coming up.
Yeah. Progress prompt during the internal resistance test. End the test after the progress reaches 100%, right? Click End and generate the report. Jerry's going to show you that because he did that all.
And then the features of the dynamic test here is basically tracking the algorithm. We kind of read through that before. Same thing they told you, but it's all here. It's giving you system description, operation type of stuff.
Right, and you know,
really
what they're doing is by accelerating and backing off regenning, accelerate, regen, and all of that, what you're doing is you're cycling those batteries, every one of them, and it's comparing voltages and currents in real time, in the real world, under load.
Nothing better.
So that that's a really, truly good test. Right?
And you really need to test drive stuff.
Yeah.
Now, here is that setup, and you can see these bars are all good. Didn't have a high and low like the other vehicle, right?
Right.
So we're going there. It's telling us what's happening here. Now, notice we're driving it. We're at 0%. It'll tell you, and it took a while. When Pierre couldn't really get, like we had people and it was wet out, every time Pierre really nailed it, the tires spun. Didn't like that, okay? So you really would want to be on a dry road trying to do it, but it was what it was, right? When we kept doing it here, you could see, look what happened now. And it didn't update just yet, but it was ready to update. And right after that, it went to 29%. I didn't take that screenshot, but I did take the 100. And look at it. Now it's going to do its calculations, which is pretty damn neat. And it says the dynamic test report required an internet connection. We were on the road, didn't have it. Please ensure that the tablet is properly connected. And what I did is created a report. What we'll do in the handout, I can give you that report. It's a PDF, okay? I didn't put it on here because on slides it's tough with a PDF.
Now, if you were a mobile tech, or or you need to generate that report on the road, you'd have to have a hotspot or tag your phone as your hotspot.
And we have one, but I left it in my RV. So.
And I have one, but it was at home. Perfect.
So you put all the stuff in, the mileage, you put the customer's name, and then you get this stuff here. Test results in the green. It started at 84, ended at 74. Total voltage, the total current, maximum, gives you all the information. And look at the graph. So there's voltage, total current, and delta threshold. Okay. So that is some damn good information. Now you may go, well, I don't know, what the hell does that mean? Well, you could take something that's good, save it, just like we did years back when we didn't know lab scope stuff, right?
To save all the waveforms. Still
save
should,
them.
by the way.
Right. You save them and then you go, oh, that's good. If this is good, and you see that, and I didn't give you the middle finger, right? And you see that, you know that's bad. Pretty simple.
Right.
Okay.
Does
So-
take experience.
And by the way, the software does break that down anyway. But if you're looking at this and go, ooh, I don't know. Well, if you had one that this line is up and down or that line is totally flat, maybe that's the problem. This vehicle did not have a problem. Okay? And then it gives you the voltages, delta, of everyone, current status, discharging, sampling time, different sampling time on some of these. Look at that.
Now, you may not know what that means, but really, what are you looking for in something like this? You're looking for things that are different. I like to quote John Anello. He said it many times in seminars. I learned a lot of what I needed to know in kindergarten. Is it the same or is it not the same?
Right.
Right?
Sesame Street Diagnostics.
Sesame Street Diagnostics. The point is, if all of them are kind of close, you probably don't have a problem, right? But if you have one that's like flat out way different, that
may be
could,
looking at
yeah,
something.
that could be an issue.
So, and imagine giving all this stuff to a customer.
Yeah,
You could make money with this,
and they love
and
it.
right, and maybe prevent them from having a vehicle stuck. Because let's face it, if you have a full EV, or even a Prius for that matter, if that battery goes, there's no starter motor.
Yeah, you're stuck.
So you're pretty well stuck.
And you know, maybe it really is the fact that they're like this Prius we worked on. It sits too much, and you have to say, Mr. or Mrs. Customer, drive your car more.
And again, I do want to remind you, Honda did put that right under the hood of their vehicle. So keep that in mind. All right, more stuff here. And then it says Introduction to State of Health. And it goes through this whole thing here. Keep the battery state of health below 50%. And it recommends doing this particular setup. Okay? And it's going to tell you now. See, now if you don't have a charger, it says park the vehicle at the charging site and do not start charging. The VCI connect to the vehicle, OBD2, and connect to the tablet. So it is telling you how to perform this next test of state of health. And then it goes through, and as you can see here, and remember we told you we had to drop it down under 50. So we did the driving test, that's okay. But I couldn't perform this test. And by the way, this takes some time, right? So we can't do it live here because you would be like spending. That's why we're late.
Yeah, that's
We're doing
actually
all
why
these
we're
tests.
late. It took us so long to drain the battery. We kept putting more loads on in the car.
I was like, if I didn't want the damn battery to drain, it would have drained.
Right.
But Murphy's Law.
Right.
All right, so then it tells us, please complete the following operation and start test. We start it, and you see this thing here. Under test, okay, and report can be generated when the test progress reaches over 70%. They should put A, not N. I'll have to email them on that.
Yeah, yeah. So, you know, the other thing, state of charge, state of health, they're not the same thing, right?
That's right.
State of charge is, well, how charged it is, how filled up it is, if you want to think of it as a reservoir.
But how's the health?
But how, right,
How's your health?
How solid is it? You know, how good really is the state of health is its true condition, what capacity it has in relation to what it had when it was new.
And one thing as a good tidbit of information, if your customer's battery, let's say, is full and it tells them they're going to get 315 miles on a charge. Now, big things to remember. This time of year out here, Cold weather affects it. Wind affects it. Speeds affects it. Every weight affects
Hot
it.
weather affects it too.
Sure.
Air conditioning, anything that makes it work harder.
Anything. Okay. Put more passengers in there. Put my fat ass in there. It's gonna give you less miles per gallon, right? But at that being said, you have to remember that you have to make sure that these people understand how the vehicle operates, right?
Yeah.
You look at that state of health. If the battery goes down quickly, you go, hold it, I had 315, Pierre. I only did 20 miles. I'm down to 180 miles.
Yeah.
You got to look at that. And if it charges up quick, let's say they plug in and they go, yeah, my car
It
charged
goes from
up.
60% to 80% in 7 minutes. That's bad. Same thing, you know, we used to have this with lead acid batteries a long time ago, right?
Same thing.
The
Called bounce back voltage.
the theory is the same. If it can't make the chemical reaction occur and store the energy, it goes too fast, and you really don't have that energy, do you? You haven't stored it.
And that seems to be a big problem. So there are still nickel metal hydrate batteries being utilized on some vehicles out there that are not plug-ins. Why? Because it's cheaper technology. Most of them are going to lithium, and Toyota is saying we're going to go to a like a transistorized type of battery.
Yeah,
that can
they call
easily
it
charge
solid
up.
state, but it's really
Solid
more
state.
like semi-solid state.
Yeah.
They also have a lot of LIFE POs, or not lipos, but LifePos,
Yep.
which traditionally have had less energy density, but were capable of being charged from 0 to 100% reliably, and
pretty
also
quickly,
and
time-wise.
also had far less of a fire hazard when, you know, your teenage kid stole the car and rolled it up in a ball one night. Or I shouldn't say that, but you know, something like that happens.
So here, after it's done, it says, you know, tells you exactly what to do, hit OK, and you get the report. Now look at some of the other neat systems here. When you get this upgrade kit that we showed you, and maybe Doreen, just go back down to that kit again on the camera.
Oh, sure.
And this is a whole kit with that, you might as well put that thing in.
Yeah,
the
I'll
box.
put this here. This goes like, kind of goes there.
And of course, there's a wire for it.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
there's a power supply and some stuff that's not here right now, but it's in the kit.
So that is great. And look at the software you get. You can come back up here. You get this high voltage system diagnostic software that is part of the package. And look at this. Is this cool or what? I want to blow this up because I want you to take a good look at it. And besides, I'm not seeing all that well, so. It says high voltage interlock if you have a fault. No. Loop status, charging voltage, and look at this.
And it gives you a schematic of how the system is laid out.
And it'll tell you pre-charge time too short, too long, current, crash event detection, all these different switches. And oh, this is a big one, insulation test resistance. Now, if insulation test is not correct, you will get an isolation fault.
And you are going nowhere.
You go nowhere. Okay. So very, very important, powerful stuff here. And we'll show you, you can do one more thing. Come on.
Now, by the way, just like any other tool, it's not the only tool in your toolkit, right? If you have an insulation fault here, you got to go down that pathway of diagnostics. You're not doing that with a scan tool. You're doing that with a megohm meter or a milliohm meter in the case of continuity through wires.
And look how nice this is. Battery energy control module. Is there a fault? No. Hybrid powertrain module, 1 and 2. Of course, GM, that's what they do. HPCM1, HPCM2. Drive motor control 1, no problem. Drive motor 2. Charge and control motor. Electric compressor. HVAC control. Control heater module. Hey, that gives me a hell of a lot of information. And if any of that's bad, you can tell the customer, and that could lead into a repair that you can perform.
And you know, this thought just occurred to me. It's not just for somebody who already owns the car. Wouldn't this be a tremendous service for somebody who's looking to buy a used car? Wow.
Yeah, and think about how you could advertise this. Take a couple of screenshots and say, you know, we work on hybrid e-vehicles and we can check them out. Let's face it, a lot of the rent-a-car companies dumped their EVs because like guys like me that would rent them and go, hey, I can't get back. You didn't give me enough juice in this damn thing, right? So a lot of them got sold, but are there problems on them?
Think about
Really
what
like to
happens to
know.
rental cars.
Oh, you know how people beat those things to death.
You know,
right?
the only thing that gets worse treatment is police cars and ambulances. You know, they get beat up real bad. All the rental fleets. Think about what people do to these things.
All right, we're going to go on to the vehicle with the tool.
All right. Sorry. I
Are
want to
we-
make sure this hasn't timed out because the
Yeah,
car.
probably by this time we probably did.
It could have. I'm gonna recycle the power again.
Okay. All right. So
All right,
we're-
you should be up and running.
All right, we're on the scan tool. And notice how I hit accept and it won't let me go further on this screen until I went back, right? Now watch, if I hit accept, won't let me do it. They want you to read through it real smart.
Yeah, they don't want you to do what we always do, which is say, "Oh yeah, okay, goodbye." You know.
Yeah, I get it. I
yeah,
get
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. I know all that. No, they make you go through it.
So now we accept it. These are all the screenshots we kind of showed you. And if we go in, look how quick this thing really moves. You've seen this last month as well. And as it's going through here, checking the system, we are connected there. And if we did a battery pack information,
And this is what Jerry showed you a slide of, but it's going to come up. Oh, it's having trouble outputting. No, that's just something with this. Something with the video doesn't like certain screens. See if it'll do it once it's past it. So just so you know, that black screen is something we've been beating our heads against, thinking it was our video board, but I don't think it is. I think
Nah,
the
we
format
tried
of
on
the.
different boards.
I think that that's us. The video board isn't it. I think. No.
well, if first of all, that's a good one. Dodge, number one, you need auto auth. So go to AUTO, AUTH, make sure your tool is registered. So even if you bought this Autel tool, unless it tells you it comes with the registration of auto auth, you need it not only for Stellantis products, Dodge, Chrysler, and Fiats and all the other junk they have. You could,
Tell me how you really feel.
there's also Nissan, there's also Mercedes, and there'll be every other company doing it for the gateway module. Now, I did see a lot of years that I can go back and show you that they have a lot of current years. I saw 25, 26. You know, maybe someday in the future, or maybe I'll even do like a lunch and learn on a late mile, maybe on my Lightning, just to kind of show you some stuff, because it does get hard to do so many lunch and learns and come up with new subject matter. I've done them for so many years. But right now, the screen is on a dynamic test.
Get it that way.
Yeah, go back to that.
Get this out.
Actually, let me get some of this stuff out of here.
Yeah, let's get it that way.
And
And
then,
of course, I gotta,
yeah, you backed out of it.
yeah, you're pretty good. That's good. All right, so it's
Okay.
looking at it right now. And then we could do start the test. And then we could look at some other vehicles. Now you notice it's 0%, wants you to drive it. So we can't drive the vehicle on this one. There are other tests. See? And when Pierre was driving, it was like, press the pedal. So it wants you to do it. We'll back out of that.
Like all of these things, they yell at you when you're not doing the right thing. Yeah, yeah.
Are there any questions up there?
No.
Okay, so this was the test we were showing the slides of, but there it is in real time on the real car.
And module location right there, which is pretty cool. And then you could do the cell status. See, one cell there is that arrow going down, I think. Yeah, one high, one low. It's hard to tell the red one. There you go.
Yeah, and of course, in this case, the differences are really small.
Battery pack info. I mean, all this is at your fingertips. And other live data. And look at all that data. And this could help you diagnose a problem. We'll hit escape. And the battery dynamic test, which will go through. And again, some of these you gotta
drive the car, yeah. It's gonna make you jump through hoops on some of this stuff, right?
But again, you know, time is money. You're gonna charge your customer. You're going to give them phenomenal information, all save and print. I mean, you could save every screen, and I'll show you that as well. You could email it to yourself. You could put it up on the Autel cloud. So it gives you that information right here without driving it. They could do start the test. And again, now it wants you to get in and drive it. So we're just going to
Yeah, we can't do that here. We already did it.
I'll show you something. I'm going to turn this around, just move the camera towards us for a second. I'm looking at battery pack info right now, just going through the bar. It's hard to do it backwards.
Well, he's getting that, you know, there's a professor I see out in Indiana, I think he's Indiana or in Illinois, who does stuff on nuclear stuff, and he has a piece of glass between you and him, and he writes backwards as he's talking, and it's totally legible. What a skill. I don't know how he does that.
What a genius.
Yeah, what a genius, right.
So right here, it gives you the test the other way that you could see. And then you can just go through all those tests right there. So it's very similar, but one, you're gonna have to drive the car. So we'll get out of this and then we'll go back to their other diagnostic setup.
And some of these screens may go through the HDMI, like maybe try switching it to the, oh, I see, you're on the camera there. So those are the menu items, right? HV, and then you can do those tests on any HV vehicle.
Let's take a Toyota EV. And watch the years on it. It's going to give us all this here. We're going to hit OK. Won't let me do it till I read and accept.
And then you have to manually select it, or yeah.
To just give you an idea, come on. Watch the years. The years are, and let's take, so just to give you an idea what it would look like. And they have a whole list of stuff. Okay.
Oh, don't do that.
Is this on the newer Autels or only specific EV scan tool?
No, you could download this software on, I guess, all their bigger tablet type stuff. This is the latest, greatest.
If you go on their website,
But
it'll tell you what scan tools it works on and which ones it doesn't. It's not on every, you know, it's not on the $400 cheap tool, you know, it's more sophisticated than that. But you'll have to look at the list.
And then you have not only state of charge stuff here, if you go into the motor, because anything with the electric here.
Yeah, they always have the same safety warnings with the, yeah, you got a little glare off the lights there. It's hard to do this way. That's why we wanted the output out of the.
Try it again, just to see.
I did. It's blinking.
Oh, here, look at the year, 26.
There you go, now it's kind of working.
Oh.
It's blinking a little bit, but it's kind of working.
Yeah, but it'll drive you crazy.
Yeah, well, it's too late for me. I'm already crazy.
Well, it's staying there right now. Now it ain't. But you get the idea. So
Yeah.
it is super powerful, gives you a bunch of stuff. And then, of course, if you go through, this would be the new stuff that's downloaded with buying that kit that we showed you before. And then if you go through and you want to see like data manager here, if I go in and I just look at images.
So these are, so actually show them, let's go back to one of the screens and show them how to do a picture.
Oh, sure. But look at all these that we saved.
In the last few days, by the way.
Okay. And every one of these, I can blow them up. Okay. So you can do every
And
one
you
of
could
them.
always email that to your customer or save it to the cloud or whatever you want to do.
Yeah, let me go back and save a screen. All right, we'll go into diagnostics. See if you can get it up on that, Doreen. It doesn't like that I have an active test.
Yeah, you have to stop the test before it'll.
We can speak about going in, and I'm going to show you on the diagnostic part all the information you can get. Okay. Do we have any other questions there?
No.
Newer Ortel, Delta. Okay, go into diagnostics, see if you can grab it.
Okay, it's doing that.
Standalone. It should identify the car. Pops to vehicle info. Now it has all the info there. We hit OK.
You know, by the way, even that, you could take a snapshot of that and you'd have your serial number and all of that stuff for the future, any future records.
And since it's off again, let's show them this way. So here's when it comes up. And of course, since you bought that software, you're going to have that extra one here with the EV info. That one right there. And if we run this, which is a good thing to do a fault scan, it's going to go through all the computers on there. And you see the colors changing? I mean, I'm looking backwards at this right now.
Yeah, but you can see which ones are blue, which ones are green, and which ones, well, hopefully aren't any red ones because this is your car.
Better not be.
Better not be, yeah.
Okay, so it's all hunky-dory.
Now, the thing is, look how easy this is to take a picture. The little camera icon, don't just hit it, you hold it. That's it, we got a picture.
And you see the pictures right there?
Oh.
Simple as that.
And then you could do this. Look, it says filter by Google, Adobe, put it in the gallery. You could do all this stuff with it. Pretty damn nice.
A lot of choices.
A lot of choices.
You have any
And,
questions, by the way?
You know, a really powerful tool. But again, I know I read somewhere, I think when I put it in there, it said that this software can be used on like my older Ortel tablet.
So there
don't
were
remember
there was
the
a
name
list.
of
There
it.
was a list of them. They had a not list of numbers. I did not memorize it. But it's definitely not like the real cheapy stuff that a lot of, you know, it's not going to be in your, like I said, your $400 or whatever, your simple scan tool. It's going to be in the higher end ones.
Of course, you
They have
always
to have faster processors and all of that. to
You
do
always
this.
have stuff like this, the special test, reset your oil, your parking brake, your lights, all this stuff is really helpful.
Right.
And some caution on a lot of these cars, like if you're on a Ford Escape Hybrid, you will need, with a Teva system, you'll need a gallon of brake fluid. On this car, if you don't follow the special brake procedure, and you'll probably need a good couple of quarts, you'll have a problem. So having the right software, like in this particular tool, for hybrids and EVs, is going to make your job that much easier.
And of course, again, RTFI, right? So like what Jerry just said about the amount of brake fluid doing a replacement. We're not supposed to use the word flush anymore, are we?
No, replacement.
So there was some story about some accident where somebody had had their brake fluid flushed and they had a crash. And somehow it got argued in court that they had left some of the flush in the system. What do we flush brake fluid with?
With brake fluid.
brake fluid. There is no flush. But somehow that got through the system. So now you can't use the word, or I would say it's unwise to use the word flush. Renew, replace, bleed,
and of course,
whatever.
What happens
Service.
to brake fluid? It boils.
Yeah,
It gets hot.
So that was actually how I sold brake fluid changes, flushes back in the day. And that was, exchanges. I would say, look, Mr. Customer, if your brake fluid gets wet, absorbs moisture, the boiling point goes down. If you just drive down the street here, it's going to work. But if you're in stop and go traffic and you're accelerating and hitting the brakes and accelerating and hitting the brakes and it's 95 degrees out, now your brakes are really hot. And at some point, the fluid at the caliper is going to boil, your pedal's going to go to the floor, you're going to hit the car in front of you, but when you tell that to the cop, somebody's going to put their foot on the pedal and say, well, the brakes work. It was you. You know what? That's a motivational statement right there. Boy, they bought the brake changes, brake fluids.
Could you repeat how you
tricked the scan tool to work with the Prius?
Oh, how I tricked it.
Within the listed years.
Okay.
Was it just a manual selection?
I did a manual selection,
Yes.
correct. Now, that's probably not a good thing to do.
Yeah, you're not
They
supposed
may
to.
not like me doing that, but you know what? I did it and it worked. So they didn't have the info, like I said, for the high voltage thing, because if I go back here and I pick that car, and don't forget you could do DVI on here, all that.
Now, mind you, Jerry did that to get data. I would never do that with a bidirectional test that might damage something. Don't, be careful with what you do, right? Getting data and not allowing something to get out of control is one thing. Going for a road test while you're activating brake components, absolutely not when you've picked the wrong car.
So manual right here, if I went down and I select Prius, I got to look at it this way, and then I'll turn it. And there's the years that it comes up, right? So if I hit without Smart Key, well, and maybe something updated because it went back to 2006. So look at that.
So we were talking about that before. So we did all these updates, but this tool's only been here a few days, or we've only had use of it a few days.
So let's see when it pops up. I'm not
These
connected
updates,
to a car.
by Wednesday, it might all be in there.
By the way, when you do get a tool, you really need to make sure
Yeah, you got to do all your updates.
do all the updates. Yeah, see, it knows it's not connected to a car, but
Well, not
it would
to that
pop
car.
up and it has topography, which is only, I think, 16 modules on that car. And see, but it does not show you
EV,
EV.
right.
So there's the list right there. Okay. But hey, a great tool with a lot of info in it. And I will try to find out from them, why they didn't go back. Now I can tell you this. I remember I have a Honda, 2005 Honda Civic, and my 2006 and up Civics, you got all the battery voltage. 2005 down to 2003 when they first did it, you didn't get that information.
But that was on the Honda side. That was them not giving you the
Well, that's
info.
what I'm saying. Now maybe that is the deal here. Maybe it's not Autel not doing it. The company doesn't give you the info. It's like if you bought a Viper, early Vipers, they had ABS, but guess what? You couldn't get ABS, not even with the factory tool. And they did that because they said it's a limited production vehicle. Who's going to worry about ABS when they want to do
On a Viper, such a slow
150
car.
miles an hour? Right? So certain things that what they call limited production vehicles. The Insight, the Honda Insight was another one.
Yeah, didn't
that
make
had
many of them.
very little information in it.
Right.
The original. Then of course when it came out, the later one, they had more. So as things progress, there'll be more and more better things. Let me pass around you, Pierre, as we finish up. take a sip here.
All right.
We do want to thank Autel for being our sponsor again. We appreciate it. Again, this will be up on the Motor Age site and on the TST website. If you have any questions, things that, and I'll try to find a couple of more things out. We want to thank you for your time. Wish you a very happy Thanksgiving to you and your family, because that's only next Thursday.
Yes, less than a week away.
Turkey Day.
Yeah, 5 days away.
We want to thank you, State of Charge in Health and Analysis for EV.
And of course,
battery
thank
conditioning.
Autel again because they, supplied all this stuff for us to use.
Yep. And it may not be a bad idea if you're thinking about getting into the hybrid EV system. Well, this is one capable tool, but I do want to warn you, like we started with, safety is important. Follow all the safety, and you see even what Autel said. Did you get certified or go? And by the way, as technicians / mechanics, or as my buddy Calm likes to say, specialist. If you're a specialist, and you could be a specialist in EVs and hybrids and probably make a lot of money.
Yeah, think
But
how
what do you need?
marketable that is.
Right.
Wow.
But what do you need? You need to invest in yourself, your education, your tools. And that old saying, it takes money to make money. You can't sit back there and think, I just did a trainer all week. And one of the instructors said, I would have to get that. Yeah, dude, you got to get that, because if you don't spend the money, if you don't update, you will evaporate. So spending the money on something is an investment in your future and your business and your customer.
And it's not just the money, obviously. It's your time. It's your intellect. It's thinking about it, right? Reading.
Pierre and I are pretty old guys.
Yeah, I hate to think about it, but yeah.
We're on our way out. And I know, like our buddy Don out there as well. I've seen Don on there before. He does this because he loves it. We do it because we love it. And you younger guys need to invest. Pierre and I sat in loads of different classes.
And by the way, don't let somebody say, it's the new thing. It's too hard. I remember when they were saying that when point ignition went out and it was electronic ignition, oh my God, it's terrible. We can't fix it. Give me a break.
Brakes to disc brakes, remember?
Drum brake to fuel injection from carburetors. And the list goes on and on. The point is, you have to look. If you look in front of you, you're more likely to go forward. If you look behind you, I think you're going backwards.
and be careful. I know a lot of young people out there. You're going to pull up your phone, like this nice phone here, and
don't believe everything you get off of there.
You're going to do Chat GPT. You're going to do Grok. You're going to do Google. You're going to do Siri, whatever. Bottom line is, not all that information is correct.
Yeah, think about what all these search engines and AI agents are doing. They're looking through what's ever on the web. If people put information that is incorrect on the web,
and there's a lot of it,
and there's a lot of it, those systems are going to feed that bad information to you, and you have to be educated enough to know what's good and what's bad.
And we're not telling you not to use it.
No, because there's a lot of power in those
right?
systems.
It's just like a lot of service information stuff, right? There's good things. You should be on IATN and diag.net. There's a lot of good stuff there, and there's a lot of crap as well, right?
Yeah, you have to be. So that's part of the education and part of the ability to weed out the good stuff from the bad stuff, right? Unfortunately, a lot of times that just takes experience. Sorry.
Well, we want to thank you again, and we want to thank Autel. Remind you that Autel sponsored this, and they sponsored last month's as well. They're trying to help you update your skills and build tools and equipment that will help you make your job easier. So from New York, any questions, what?
You want to mention the big event?
The TST big event. Yes, we'll do that. We'll give TST a plug. That's right, we are TST. March the 28th, correct me if I'm wrong, right?
Yeah, last Saturday of March.
And come out, we got 3 great speakers. We have Hell, you know me with names.
He's been repeating this all week, and I forgot him too. And I was repeating him all weekend.
Andrew Fisher, he'll start off. Ken Zanders,
Yes.
Mr. Smooth himself,
Yes.
and then Adam Robinson.
Yep.
All good, great classes. Don't forget we have a trade show as well. And maybe if you're a company you're looking to sponsor, you can go to tstseminars.org. And by the way, I want to remind you about our new website. And in December, I think December either 17th or 14th, one of the days.
He knows that. I don't know that, David.
That's Robert Kenny,
Yes.
right? I don't,
Our
is it?
December TST webinar.
Hold on. I think I have it in my phone here.
So, you know, obviously, TST, we try to help you with this new website. You'll be getting a lot more videos. There's over 100 up there. If you have membership and someone that goes through and looks at every one of them, hey, there's a lot of hours of information there.
I didn't put it in my phone. Sorry.
But check it out.
Emails
There'll be
will go
emails.
out.
Yeah, it's like the middle of the month, though.
But once again, we want to thank you. If you thought it was helpful, type a letter Y in there. If we thought we sucked, put the letter S. But we want to thank you again for your time. Thank you, Autel. Thank you, Pierre. Thank you, Doreen.
And thank you, Jerry. And again, happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy
Safe,
Thanksgiving.
too.
God
Happy
bless
and
you.
safe.
Have a good one. Thank you.